The American Armenian National Security Institute was formed in 2021 by two Glendale, California residents, retired U.S. Army Major General Mark McCarley and Apo Jabarian, the managing editor of USA Armenian Life, a weekly newspaper published in Armenian and English. The American Armenian National Security Institute is known by the acronym AANSI. For 9 days in August 2023, nearly 50 people gathered at the Aragats training area about 35 miles northwest of the Armenian capital of Yerevan. The training area is named after Mount Aragats, one of the highest peaks in the Armenian highlands. About a month after the training, the Armenian enclave of Nagorno-Karabakh, which Armenians call Artsakh, was ethnically cleansed of its Armenian population. Those events have been dubbed the Second Armenian Genocide.
But I think we've had some substantial developments since that period, and when Artsakh was overrun by the forces of Azerbaijan, and over 100,000 Armenians who had made their lives in Artsakh were evicted, forcefully evicted.
The creation of 100,000 Armenian refugees fleeing from Artsakh to Armenia was the culmination of a war perpetrated by oil-rich Azerbaijan against the Armenians in late 2022. The 44-day war led to 5,000 Armenian deaths and a prolonged blockade that ended with the ethnic cleansing of the indigenous population. The leaders of AANSI say they're now looking forward to focus on three objectives. One is education in the U.S. regarding the maintenance and sovereignty of Armenia. Also, education in Armenia, where AANSI has sent a number of retired U.S. Army generals to participate in discussions and educational exchanges at Armenia's War College, the National Defense Research University.
Utilize the strength of the Armenian army as a force for good.
The second objective is philanthropy, in which AANSI raises money to, among other causes, donate money to the Veterans Hospital in Armenia to assist wounded and disabled soldiers. And the third objective is the AANSI Humanitarian Support Brigade.
Now, the Humanitarian Support Brigade is not a military organization. It's not a militia by any stretch of the imagination.
It's a group of Armenians from all parts of the global Armenian diaspora, as well as non-Armenian supporters.
The whole intent of the training is to develop a group of people throughout the diaspora who can respond within 96 hours of a call from the Armenian Ministry of Interior to come to Armenia and to assist in providing humanitarian assistance during times of great need.
It was against that backdrop in August of 2023 that 47 volunteers gathered for the training.
We have greeted during the last few days the arrival of several members of the AANSI Humanitarian Support Brigade from over 7 countries, and to their credit, many Armenians and non-Armenians.
After 10 minutes?
One non-Armenian taking in the training was Mike Liam, who for 20 years has been a civilian employee with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, overseeing the Reserve Deputy Program, the Mounted Posse, and Search and Rescue. And separate from that, for 3 decades, he's been a hands-on volunteer with the LA Sheriff's Montrose Search and Rescue Team. Another non-Armenian in training was the former mayor of Carson, California, Albert Robles, who has been a friend of the Armenian community since 2015 when he helped prevent the city of Carson from accepting a gift for the city's sculpture garden of Mustafa Kemal Ataturk, a controversial figure who rose to power in Turkey after the Armenian genocide of 1915 to 1923. Robles, a former regional water commissioner, also has a water reclamation plant in Pico Rivera named after him.
It's not enough anymore to send money from afar and say, oh, I hope this donation helps. The time has come for the diaspora to reinvent itself in terms of mobilization. The time has come to integrate the diaspora with the homeland in an unprecedented way.
The volunteers trained with members of the Armenian Red Cross who led instruction in first aid, CPR, wound management, burn treatment, and how to handle sprains and fractures.
Once you pass the course and you are certified with Emergency Services Department, you are part of the first line response of the Republic of Armenia.
Part of the training included a presentation on cybersecurity from Aram Tarosian of Armenia's Ministry of Defense. They also heard from Colonel Arman Magurchian, Armenia's military attaché stationed in the United States.
He will make a presentation now, a medal for your extraordinary efforts.
Before the volunteers headed to an outdoor location for some more hands-on training, we talked with a few of them about what motivated them to participate.
What can I do? First, to appreciate what the United States did for me and for my nation, and how to feedback it. Mark McCurley explained in a way that you can say no.
After the 2020 war, there were a lot of changes at the border in the Sunni region where I'm from. We're concerned, so I'm sure this training with my colleagues will give us a lot of confidence in dealing with the existing realities in a more professional way.
I feel today Armenia is somewhat in a difficult situation. The situation is not stable. So for us Armenians, we have to be prepared. We have to be prepared to tackle situations, unpredictable and unexpected situations that might come about.
We're out here in a training site in northwest Armenia, and our mission, among others, is to provide humanitarian support to Armenia at times of crisis.
The training area by the large artificial lake in Aragats allowed for disaster training. For earthquakes, the Department of Emergency Services offered insights and training from mastering rescue equipment to rappelling down buildings.
So it's been great seeing our international partners perform rescue operations using the equipment that they have at hand, and I'm very impressed with their abilities.
As human beings, we have a tendency to just take care of ourselves and our own and be in a little cocoon, but there's a world around us. And I think when any peoples around the world is in need because of a crisis situation and they're suffering that could be mitigated, we should do our part. And now that I'm no longer in office, my kids are older, the timing was right to come here and make a positive contribution to the Armenian community.
The volunteers observed the locals fighting a brush fire high above them and executing a water rescue.
I think AANSI is one of those organizations that are super strong in their mission, and their mission is to connect the Armenian community back to each other.
This will be definitely a highlight of my life.
J'ai décidé de rejoindre l'équipe AANSI America pour défendre la souveraineté et la sécurité de l'Arménie et de l'Artsakh.
I think this program is very important because it unites Armenians around the world together for the sovereignty of our country. So we come from a country of war and we go to fight, and it's important that we are able to help one another with the education we learn from this program. First aid, how to treat injuries and burns. So I think this is very important for everybody to be able to help one another.